So excited to have joining me Derrick Anderson. He's running for Congress. Thank you so much, Derrick, for coming on the program.
Thanks, Stacy. Thank you so much again for having me.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. First off, you're former Green Beret. Thank you for your service. And you're running for Congress in Virginia's 7th Congressional District. Talk to us a little bit about the priorities in that district. And is it close to the DMV or are you further out into the outstate?
Yeah, Stacy. So the 7th Congressional District is kind of like a little microcosm of the United States. We're centralized right around Fredericksburg, Virginia, which, depending on traffic and I-95, can be upwards to about an hour plus, depending on traffic outside of the DC area. So centralized around Fredericksburg, goes up 95 into Stafford and a part of Prince William County, has Spotsylvania, my home county, is in the center of the district, goes all the way east through King George and Caroline to the Potomac River, and then all the way west into Culpeper, Orange, Madison, and Greene County towards more of the Shenandoah area. So we've got a really, really wide swath. We've got the water, we've got the mountains, and we've got a little bit of the Northern Virginia that comes into us. So it's a great district. This is my hometown. This is where I grew up. And so over the last week alone, we've been to 5 counties within the district, which has been amazing. Just this past weekend, we spent the entire weekend at the gun show, which has been amazing. We got to hear a lot of issues and got to talk to a lot of constituents and voters in the area. The top 3 issues that continuously I'm hearing throughout the district is the border. The border is the top issue that I continue to hear, especially here in Virginia. We were a little taken back by some of these other news agencies that wanted to poke fun at Virginia and joke and say that West Virginia is our border. I don't know why they're talking about. Well, we're seeing it here. We're seeing it with crime. We're seeing it with fentanyl. We're seeing it with a variety of issues here in Virginia. So here in Virginia, we don't take lightly that they're poking fun at us. Additionally, the economy. Folks are really feeling it in the wallet and in the purse right now. A lot of folks are just having problems just living right now. That's the biggest issue. It's not to go to a fancy dinner or to go on a vacation. It's truly just to live. And so, and then the last one I hear quite often is crime. Because we are situated about an hour plus outside of the DC area, we do feel that ripple of crime that comes down into our district.
So I want to go over a couple of things with you about the border because Virginia has a pretty high level of illegal alien population there. In fact, it's so much so that you struggled for about 13 years with having the Democrats in control of your state, and illegal immigration was a huge factor in that. And so I have family that lives in Virginia. I know that there are a lot of things at play there. It's not as simple as, oh, people don't want or want illegal immigration. People feel sorry for those who are here from other countries and shouldn't be here, but they also don't want them in their neighborhood. So it's an issue of, I guess I'm okay with it, but just don't let them come to my neighborhood or let them come to my little city. There's so many cute little quaint cities there in Virginia where you're driving along and then all of a sudden you're out of the suburbs and you're in an actual town and all of the buildings are unique instead of looking like strip mall America. And it's legitimately a little town with its own little grocery store. And so people are trying to balance what they want, which is to continue to live the lives that they've had, with the idea that we should welcome people in who are breaking our laws to enter the country.
Yeah, and great example, Stacy. This past Friday, we spent time at a local gas station, Jimmy's. I'm giving you a shout out. You guys were great out there. But again, we want to just keep our community safe, keep it safe from drugs, and keep it safe from individuals that want to cause harm to us. I mean, if we look over the last several months, we've seen the attacks that have occurred by these illegal immigrants, whether they've been resulting in someone being killed or someone being assaulted. And we've seen it here in Virginia multiple times. And, it's a direct result of the Biden administration's failed border policies. If you really look, Biden took a promise to dismantle our border security, and he followed through with it. In his first 100 days, he took 90-ish executive orders undermining our border security. And the results have been catastrophic. And we've heard Governor Youngkin here in Virginia talk about it over and over again, that it is affecting Virginia and it's on our front doorsteps. We've seen a record amount of illegal immigrants, which President Biden is unwilling to, or at least retracts his statement on them actually being in fact illegal. I mean, when you break the law and you come into this country illegally, you are an illegal immigrant. And he's not willing to acknowledge that. So again, we are seeing it here in Virginia. And we saw President Trump he followed through on his promise to secure the border, whether it was ending catch and release, taking down human traffickers, and building the wall. So again, the Biden administration really has its hand full right now. And that's why this election is so important, not only at the presidential level, but at the congressional and the Senate levels too, because we have to get our country back on track and we have to secure our border.
Yeah, and then there is the issue of there's a recent ruling, this was last week, where they're extending the Braun ruling out to, and this is an appellate judge, so not the Supreme Court, and we'll see what happens with the case if it goes any higher. But last week there was a ruling that because illegal entry into the country is technically a misdemeanor, that illegal aliens have the right to keep and bear arms, because the right to keep and bear arms is a universal personal individual liberty. So you have the right to defend yourself and to use arms to do so. And because that's the way our Constitution is set up, your actual status in the country as an illegal or as a person who is here lawfully doesn't come into play as to whether or not you can own a firearm. And it was an illegal alien who sued in this case to take it up to the appellate court. As we close out here, what do you think? Do you think that case should be continued to be fought, or should illegal aliens have the right to keep and bear arms?
I mean, I think it's absolutely going to be appealed all the way up to the Supreme Court. And I'm very curious to see where the Supreme Court stands on it. I have my inclinations, but again, this could all be rectified with President Biden re-implementing some of these border policies that we already had in place. Again, he has gone back on these border policies day one in office, and the House has gone and put forward some border policies and border legislation that the Senate, unfortunately, is not willing to look at, not willing to take, and they're not willing to stop this crisis at the border. We see and we hear from Texas continuously about the issues that they're having at their border. And so, again, this ruling is just another issue that we're having, but I do think it's probably likely to be appealed to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court is going to have some pretty interesting words about it. But again, we can fix this. The Biden administration can fix this by implementing and re-implementing some of these border policies to stop illegal immigrants. We are a country founded on immigration, but at the same time, we do it legally and we do it in the right way.
Well, I think I love the fact that you're talking about lawful immigration. All of the other portions are just the same as people who speed or do anything else. If it's against the law, we shouldn't be doing it. Thank you so much for coming on, Derrick Anderson. I have your link to your campaign in the show notes over at stacyontheright.com. You can find it there. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll be back with more. Stacy Washington.